What's up, YouTube? So today I'm going to show you how to fillet redfish, the infamous red drum. I've been catching a few lately, and I just thought I should make a video because I think I have a pretty good technique blended between my uncles down in Brownsville, Port Isabel, and also taking some technique from this guy named Victor, a guide in Louisiana. I'm going to put his link in the video, which introduced me to this knife right here. It's a Dexter 3576. It's a skinning knife, and so this is kind of what the guy Victor uses, and I kind of blend his technique. I don't like how he does it completely because it's kind of difficult, but I took his technique and then I put it with my uncle's technique. And it's a loud bird. And so basically I'm going to show you how to do it with this 3576. I think I got ripped off because this is not supposed to rust like that, but be careful where you buy this. I bought it on Amazon, so careful. So basically what you're going to do is start right here underneath these two fins. I don't know what these fins are called. And you're going to cut up, and you're going to cut and kind of angle it almost like a C in order to get this meat on top of the head. And so you're going to do the same thing with the top. You're going to go up here on the other side, push up, you're going to push up, you're going to come up here along the gill, and then after that slice it up on top of the head right there, get to the spine, and basically what I do is twist, break, well, it usually works out better. These guys have a pretty strong, like, twist it, and I pull, and it comes off. Alright? And so basically right here, cut off the throat. There's a lot of meat in there. And that's just a little bit of meat. Alright, so that's a nice little throat that you keep. So after that, go right here, clean out this. It's actually pretty good at getting all this membrane out. The thing that sucks is these fish have been frozen for a little while, so it's a little bit more difficult to take it out. But anyway, after that, the main part is to go above this anal fin and run it up. And he says, the guy Victor says, put your finger on this like a tendon, like almost like a nerve, so you can feel where you're going along the bone. And then once you get to the vertebrae in the middle, kind of angle up and then go back down over it. So I'm at the vertebrae, going up and go back down. And do it on the whole fish. And this guy Victor, what he does, he goes into this and he kind of rips through the ribs with this knife, but it's kind of tough, so I don't really do that. I just go right here. So I'm done with that. There's a line right here that you can get in between the fin and the scales. Kind of work your knife in there, making sure to stay along the bone. You run it down the back, making sure to stay along the bone. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then once I get to this ribs, make sure I cut to the rib, and what I do is grab it and I rip it off. See? It's pretty good. I like a little bit of meat, but man, that's what you come up with. It's pretty good fillet. Now you do the same thing to the other side. So what you do first is you go right here, you remove this anal fin, pop that off, done. And now you're left with this side. So what I do, I go from the top on this side. So I go right here, find that groove between the scales and the fin. And I run my knife down there. And then back up to the top. I find that the easiest way to find that groove is right around here, right before, right at the beginning of this top, the second dorsal fin. Then run it down to the rib, just like that. Same thing right here. Run it over the vertebrae.
We repeat, this is only a test.
Your knife right here. And then the same thing. Rip it off. And that's pretty much what you're left with. It's actually a pretty efficient way to go about this, and you got a nice fillet right there. So, and then with this knife, it's pretty nice because you can just get this membrane that I'm talking about, all this gunk, and you just scoop it out. If you do it when the fish is fresh, it's a lot easier, but this fish has been frozen for 2 days, and it's kind of a little tough to get this off, but that's all that comes off of it. We left with a nice fillet, clean fillet. I'm leaving these on a half shell. I got a couple friends that want them, so that one goes there. The second one, that was a 22-inch redfish, so that one goes there. And if you did want to skin them, this gentleman Victor, he shows you, you get the skin right here, and then you just use this. This is the knife that I use for that. And he also brings this little trick. You get a bottle cap and you cut like a part of a broomstick off, get a bottle cap, drill it to the bottom of here, or screw it, and you can pinch the skin down and skin your fish like that. It's actually a very nice method. It's cheap, and it keeps your fingers from hurting, especially if you're doing a lot of fish. I don't have to do too many usually. I don't catch a whole bunch, but when I do, it's nice and convenient to have. So clean out all this membrane. Put these on. They're gonna go on. They're gonna stay on the half shell. They're gonna grill them. Really good way to cook this fish. Delicious, man. You just grill it. Put some mozzarella cheese and everything on it after it's done with some Italian dressing. Then you just pick it off and make fish tacos. So that's that one. Okay. Do it one more time. This is a nice one. This is like a 24-inch. So the same thing. Dexter 3576, taking the methods of my uncles down in the lower Laguna Madre, and then taking some technique from this gentleman Victor. I'm gonna put the link below. Like I said, the 3576 Dexter knife. Be careful where you get it. I got ripped off because this one rusted. This is not exactly a Dexter. I got it on Amazon, so be careful. But it still works. I kind of grind it off every now and then. If you need to, take your knife sharpener, sharpen it, wash it off, and we'll get ready to do this again. So, start underneath these fins right here, right there. Work it up behind the pectoral fins. Run it up the side like a C, because there's a lot of meat up here. Some people just go straight down and you miss this good triangle of meat. This is actually very good meat. Then you run it up the same thing. Let me see if I can get it to where you can see it. Pick up this pectoral fin and then run it up. See there? Run it up the side. Boom. Right there. It's like a C. And this one, I did it differently. This is what I usually do. What I'll do is I'll come here, get this right there, run it all the way to the anus, and then what I'll do is scoop all this. First one I did it differently. This one I did it this way. So basically what I do is come on top. Actually, Actually, a good way to do this would be just to break, and comes off. See? So you get all that's up there. So that actually went into the head. So after you do this, cut right here, right underneath the pectoral, and run it up along the gills, right there. Same thing on the other side. And look at that, man. Throat. I mean, you fry the whole thing together. Like, you fry it with the fins and everything, but you just pick around the cartilage that's in there, and this is really good meat. And then that's pretty much what you're left with, the head and guts. Put that aside. And we'll run this again. So if this fish was fresh, I would have been able to clean all this out easily, so, but it's not, so whatever. So basically what you do is you run this knife, make sure right along the other side of this anal fin, you run it up there, make sure to stay along the bone. Alright? See, it starts like that, and then once you get to that vertebrae in the middle, just a little hop, and then go directly over it. That's where people lose meat, because these guys have a pretty thick vertebrae. And then we do it, come to the top, like I said, find that groove between the scales and the fin. It's usually easy to find it about right here, between the two dorsals. Run it back. Make your way to the vertebrae in the middle, and then run this bad boy. Run it up. What I like about this knife is that you can push with it. You don't have to pull. You can also push because of this curve. So it makes it a very efficient knife. See? So now. Okay, so like I said, run it down to the rib. Basically, hold it down. Put the rib between these two fingers. Boom. The whole rib comes out. Then you can clean this membrane out. Membrane comes out a little easier when you're exposed to it like that. So that's a damn good fillet right there. It's not as clean as I got Victor. I got Victor's ridiculous, but this is just like a average Joe. So that one's there. This is what you're left with. See, this is that vertebrae that I'm talking about. If you just cut along here, some people do it. They just they fillet the fish, and then they'll flip it over. But man, there's a good chunk of meat between the vertebrae and the backbone. So do this again. Come up on this side of the anal fin. Pop that off. Right there. Comes off. Got in your gut pile. And then run up from the top. Find that groove right here between these two dorsals right here at this bridge. That's where it's at. Right there. Push it down. Pull. Leave your finger on there like a tendon. And then over the vertebrae, all the way. Get down to the rib. And boom, folks. That's what you're left with. I mean, I haven't perfected it. I leave little pieces of meat, but I mean, that's pretty much how I do it. And you're left with a pretty solid fillet after that. Like I said, just get this. This knife is awesome because you can just curve it out, carve out this membrane. Pocket in here. I would show you how to skin it, but these people want it on the half shell, so. With the Dexter 3576. Be careful where you get it, make sure it's genuine. Pay the money for it. I pay like 12, 13 bucks for this knife, so I guess that's why it's cheap. But anyway, that's kind of how you do it. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully it helps you get more meat out of your fish. Thanks for watching.